have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, if you look at the DOJ, they announced, they released 3 million pages. It's like this is all they're supposed to be doing. And frankly, the DOJ, I think, should just say, we have other things to do, because that whole thing has turned out, other than Bill Clinton and, Bill Gates and lots of people there are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me. But it was even sort of better than that, because they found that Jeffrey Epstein and this sleazebag writer named Michael Wolff were conspiring against Donald Trump to lose the election. So Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election.
Donald Trump just made series of incriminating admissions during disastrous Oval Office press conference about EpsteinFiles, and sources suggest his visible panic might reveal he knows how bad this looks. We're not talking about calm, confident president explaining away controversy with facts. We're talking about reports that Trump claimed DOJ needs to move on from Epstein investigation, saying it's wasting time, that he insisted there's nothing on him, just Bill Clinton and others, despite 38,000 references to Trump in 5,000 documents, that he threatened to sue Trevor Noah for Grammy joke about visiting Epstein's island, then casually called it Jeffrey Epstein's island, revealing familiarity, that he panic posted all day claiming he wasn't friendly with Epstein, while documents show they flew on each other's planes repeatedly. And what might make this moment so significant is what Trump accidentally revealed. Sources suggest when he said DOJ should say, "We have other things to do" regarding EpsteinFiles, when he claimed documents vindicate him despite thousands of references including FBI reports and allegations, when he attacked Thomas Massie, who co-sponsored Epstein Transparency Act requiring release. That's not innocent person wanting full disclosure. That could be guilty person trying to shut down investigation, minimize damaging revelations, and attack anyone pushing for accountability because he knows what else might be in millions of pages still unreleased. But before we break down Trump's specific lies during press conference and why attacking Massie over transparency law signals desperation, real quick. You cannot trust mainstream media to connect how Trump's panic, DOJ's survivor name leaks, and deletion of files mentioning Trump represent coordinated cover-up. That's why we built John Brown Show, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want analysis that actually exposes how administration releasing files while simultaneously deleting Trump references and leaking victim identities shows corrupt process, hit that subscribe button right now. All right, let's get into what Trump actually said and why sources suggest it reveals consciousness of guilt rather than innocence. Because think about how innocent person would handle this. If documents truly vindicated you, you'd want everyone to see them. You'd demand full release immediately. Reports indicate you'd celebrate transparency and point to specific evidence clearing your name. But Trump said DOJ needs to move on, claimed they're wasting time reviewing documents, insisted there's nothing on him when there are 38,000 references. When he was asked about suing Trevor Noah over Grammy joke, Trump said Noah claimed he spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island. That's revealing slip. Sources suggest calling it Jeffy's shows familiarity. People don't use nicknames for someone they barely knew. And when Trump posted that he never went to the infested Epstein Island, that specific denial might be lawyer-crafted response to documented evidence showing extensive contact with Epstein, including flying on planes together repeatedly. When you combine panicked press conference statements with all-day posting spree, with attacking Massie for sponsoring transparency law, with administration deleting files mentioning Trump then putting them back, pattern emerges of someone desperate to control narrative because full truth is damaging. Let's start with specific things Trump said that sources suggest reveal more than he intended. When talking about 3 million pages released, Trump claimed DOJ announced this like, it's all they're supposed to be doing and should just say, we have other things to do. Think about that statement. Reports indicate innocent person would want thorough investigation continuing until every document reviewed and every allegation examined. But Trump wants DOJ to stop, to move on, to treat this as waste of time. That's not someone confident in their innocence. That might be someone worried about what additional documents could reveal. And there's claim about vindication. Sources suggest Trump said nothing on me, but documents show 38,000 references to him in 5,000 documents. Reports indicate some references are news clippings, but some are FBI 302 reports, informant statements, and allegations, including graphic claims. When you insist documents clear you while they actually contain thousands of mentions, including allegations you have to deny, that's not being vindicated. That's hoping people won't actually read documents and will just accept your characterization. Trump tried pivoting to Bill Clinton being such a big part of it and claiming Democrats pushing investigation. But that's deflection. Multiple people can be implicated. Clinton's involvement doesn't erase Trump's 38,000 references. Think about Trevor Noah lawsuit threat. Sources suggest when asked if he'd sue Noah for Grammy joke about Epstein's Island, Trump said Noah claimed, "I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's Island." That nickname usage is revealing. Reports indicate Trump then said, "I didn't visit Island," and called Noah lightweight and terrible before pivoting to attacking his Grammy hosting. But notice Trump didn't say, "I barely knew Epstein," or "I cut off contact when I learned about his behavior." He said he has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, present tense, which contradicts documented evidence of extensive past relationship, including flying on planes together, attending parties together, being photographed together repeatedly over years. And there's panic posting throughout day. Sources suggest Trump posted claiming he wasn't friendly with Epstein, that Epstein and author Michael Wolff conspired against him, that he never went to the infested Epstein Island, while almost all the crooked Democrats and their donors did. Reports indicate defensive posting spree all day long suggests someone deeply worried about public perception. Innocent people don't need to repeatedly insist on innocence. They point to evidence and let it speak. Trump's constant posting with increasingly specific denials might reveal he knows documents contain damaging information he needs to get ahead of before people find it. But let's examine why Trump suddenly started posting about Steve Bannon, because sources suggest it reveals panic about another person extensively mentioned in files. Bannon appears throughout Epstein documents. Reports indicate communications show Bannon and Epstein discussing Trump's presidency, election interference, foreign government relations, including serving as strategic advisor to former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, who was working with Epstein communicating with foreign leaders. That's not casual acquaintance, that's deep operational relationship where Bannon and Epstein coordinating on multiple fronts. Think about specific Bannon messages to Epstein. Sources suggest April 2019, 3 months before Epstein's arrest. Bannon wrote, "We need to work around your situation. First, we need to push back on the lies, then crush the pedo trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as philanthropist." Reports indicate that's Bannon offering PR crisis management to Epstein about trafficking allegations. Another email from Epstein in 2015 references Trump's financial disclosures as Achilles' heel. When Trump's former chief strategist is coordinating with Epstein on narrative control and discussing Trump's vulnerabilities, that shows much deeper connection than Trump claims existed. And there's why Trump posted Bannon photos. Sources suggest by posting about Bannon saying very good guys who were treated very unfairly, Trump might be signaling to Bannon, "We're still good, right? Stay quiet, don't say anything." Reports indicate when multiple people in your circle appear in files discussing your presidency and vulnerabilities with convicted sex trafficker, you need those people to maintain story that relationships were minimal. Trump posting about Bannon right after Bannon's Epstein communications become public could be an attempt at keeping allies silent by publicly supporting him. Share this video with everyone you know because there's file deletion scandal. Sources suggest throughout day, administration was deleting files mentioning Trump from DOJ website, then putting them back. Reports indicate files discussing Trump and Epstein together, including statement, "I brought this one for you," and accusations involving young girls were removed, restored, removed again. That's not technical error. That might be deliberate attempt to scrub damaging references. When your own DOJ is selectively deleting mentions of you from files they're supposedly releasing transparently, that proves process is corrupted cover-up, not genuine disclosure. But step back and consider Trump's attack on Thomas Massie because sources suggest this reveals how threatening transparency law has become to him. Massey is Republican congressman who co-sponsored Epstein-Files Transparency Act, requiring full release of documents. Reports indicate Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna worked together on bipartisan legislation mandating disclosure. Trump posted attacking Massey, claiming, "People are saying Thomas Massey became a liberal because of his new wife, who is supposedly radical left flamethrower." He called Massey absolutely terrible and unreliable Republican, perhaps a rhino, or maybe even worse. Think about why Trump would attack Republican who helped pass law requiring Epstein file release. Sources suggest it's because law is working. Documents are coming out. Trump's name appears 38,000 times. Reports indicate, and there are still millions more pages unreleased that could contain additional damaging information. When you attack author of transparency law after claiming documents vindicate you, that suggests documents actually don't vindicate you, and you're angry at person who made release happen. Innocent people don't attack transparency advocates. They thank them for helping clear their name. And there's Massey's response and broader context. Sources suggest Massey and Khanna tried getting independent monitor appointed to oversee file release, specifically to protect against exactly what happened where DOJ leaked survivor names while deleting Trump mentions. Reports indicate DOJ opposed independent monitor. Now we see why. They wanted control over process so they could manage what gets released, how it's characterized, whose names get protected versus whose get exposed. When Trump attacks transparency law sponsor after his administration botches release in ways that harm survivors while protecting powerful men, that shows he views transparency as threat, not vindication. Share this with everyone because there's survivor harm. Sources suggest administration leaked names of victims and survivors, which was literally the one task they were supposed to avoid. Reports indicate survivors' attorneys filed emergency motion with federal judges saying clients have been re-traumatized by having identities exposed. Judge responded, scheduling emergency conference, recognizing urgency. When your DOJ releases files in way that protects powerful men's identities through selective deletion while exposing survivor identities requiring emergency judicial intervention, that's not incompetence. That might be deliberate choice showing whose interests administration is actually protecting. But here's another crisis Trump tried dismissing at press conference that sources suggest represents separate scandal. Reporter asked about Wall Street Journal report that royal family from Abu Dhabi invested hundreds of millions in Trump's crypto company, World Liberty Financial. Reports indicate 4 days before inauguration, UAE National Security Advisor's lieutenants secretly bought 49% stake for $500 million, with half paid upfront going to Trump family entities. At time of investment, company had no products, so money was essentially going directly to Trump. Then Trump gave UAE access to classified semiconductor chips every prior administration protected for national security. Think about Trump's response. Sources suggest he claimed, "I don't know about it, and my sons are handling that, my family is handling it." Reports indicate, but this is $500 million investment from foreign government 4 days before he became president in return for access to classified technology. When you say you know nothing about $500 million deal benefiting your family that coincides with policy decision benefiting investor, that's not plausible deniability. That might be implausible lie about corruption so obvious that claiming ignorance insults intelligence. Make sure you're subscribed to John Brown Show because there's what all of this together reveals. Sources suggest Trump's panic at press conference saying DOJ should move on, his 38,000 references and documents he claims vindicate him, his attack on transparency law sponsor, his administration deleting his mentions while leaking survivor names, his Steve Bannon signaling posts, his implausible denial about UAE semiconductor deal, all point to comprehensive corruption, where president is compromised by multiple scandals he's desperately trying to contain. Reports indicate when everything you do reveals consciousness of guilt rather than confidence in innocence, when your crisis management strategy is attacking transparency and lying about relationships documented in files. When your own statements keep accidentally revealing familiarity you're trying to hide, pattern becomes undeniable regardless of how much you insist you're vindicated. So here's what Trump's visible panic reveals. At Oval Office press conference, he claimed DOJ needs to move on from Epstein files, saying they're wasting time despite 38,000 references to him in documents. He threatened suing Trevor Noah for Grammy joke about Epstein's Island, then casually called it Jeffy's, revealing familiarity. He panic posted all day claiming he wasn't friendly with Epstein, while documents show they flew on planes together repeatedly. He attacked Thomas Massie for co-sponsoring Epstein Transparency Act after claiming documents vindicate him. Sources suggest his administration deleted files mentioning Trump, then restored them, while simultaneously leaking survivor identities requiring emergency judicial intervention. Steve Bannon appears throughout files discussing Trump with Epstein, including messages about crushing trafficking narrative and noting Trump's financial disclosures as Achilles' heel. When reporter asked about $500 million UAE investment in Trump's productless company days before inauguration followed by classified semiconductor access, Trump claimed he knows nothing about it. When every response reveals panic rather than confidence, when transparency law you claim vindicates you becomes target of your attacks, when your DOJ protects powerful men while exposing survivors, when your own words keep accidentally revealing relationships you're trying to minimize, that's not innocent person wrongly accused. That might be guilty person watching cover-up unravel as documents reveal truth about connections he spent years denying. Stay tuned.